You've seen HGTV, you've seen the Property Brothers. Looks like a lot of fun, right? Do you have what it takes to flip a house? Over the last few months, I bought a house for $325 and sold it for $450 in just 6 months. And now I'm gonna break it down for you and show you step by step how it's done. Step number one, planning, all right? First thing you have to do is understand the market, So I bought the house, it was in Henderson, Nevada. I understood that at the end of last year, in 2023, inventory was getting kind of lower and things like that. So I thought it would be a good time to buy a house and flip it. I also understood that the market in Las Vegas was more so of selling homes. Turnkey was the way to go right now, just because with high interest rates and everything like that, if someone were to buy a property, a lot of people, they don't have the money to then go and renovate and update it too. So I think this market was good for flipping, and that's why I decided to do so. But of course, I have to realize what my budget is. I knew my all-in budget had to be under $400K because that's the available capital I had to work with. And of course, what was my return on investment goals, all right? The ROI that I was seeking was a minimum of 10%. Very modest, very attainable, very reasonable and realistic, to be honest. You have to have a team, all right? You have to have a good team of contractors, someone to do painting, flooring, exterior work, electrical, plumbing, everything, all right? This is very important in your planning phase, which takes us right into step two. Getting the house, all right? First, you have to identify the house. And for me, I always look for things that have been on the market for a long time. Of course, a lot of people want to find things off market, but sometimes it's just hard to find the off market. So if you're looking at what's on the market, high days on market is always a good indication of there's probably something wrong with it, probably needs some work, and probably very negotiable since it's been on the market for a long time as well. What actually makes a good flip? Oh, I would say it's properties that require a lot of cosmetic work, right? So you don't want anything that has a lot of major work to be done, like foundation issues, whole house electrical or plumbing, or the whole roof needs to be replaced or something like that. Like you don't want anything really big like that. You want something that's mostly cosmetic, floor, paint, maybe some countertops, just dress it up a little bit with no major issues. The reason why I tried to avoid major work is because you don't get a good return on things, right? Like if you buy a house that is full of mold and you remediate it all, it's hard to see that work except you cut out all the walls and it's just new drywall and it's painted over again, right? Fire damage, right? You remove all the burnt areas. No one knows what you did, really, right? You spent a lot of money on it. Plumbing, you can say the same thing. It's in the walls, it's underground, you can't see it. It's harder to get better ROI on things that you can't see. Something else I wanted to put in there is court-ordered sales. These are another place to find flip opportunities. So when I say court-ordered sales, I mean like probate sales, right? People didn't have a will set up, so the owner passes away. Now the court is ordering for the property to be sold. Those are usually a good place to find deals, or maybe even divorce deals, right? People just want to be done and the judge has ordered them to sell the house. Another place where you can get a good deal on a purchase to find a flip if it needs work. So for example, I had mentioned not to do major work, but what if the major work of a property was that roof needs to be replaced? Well, what if your dad is a roofer and you have a really good connect on fixing that at a cheap cost, right? Well, that might be an opportunity for you as well too. So lean into your teams and wherever you have advantages there as well. So once you find the house, offer, negotiate, close on the deal, all right? And just know, a lot of times these homes that are good for flips, sometimes we'll have multiple offers, so make sure you put your best offer forward for what numbers work for you. I've seen too many people lose an opportunity over, a few $1,000s when they could have made, tens of thousands off of it, all right? So know your numbers and go close on that property knowing that. Now now that we're closed, it's on to step 3, the fun part. This is the part that everyone watches on TV. It's the renovation time. What really adds value? I'll tell you right now, I always start with the kitchen, all right? The kitchens are the main selling point of homes these days. It's the main meeting area. It's the place that's the nicest looking, if you ask me too. So I always believe in doing complete kitchen remodels if you can, meaning, you know, new flooring, new countertops, maybe new cabinets, new appliances. This is like the centerpiece of your home, if you will, all right? So that's number 1. Number 2 would be the master bathroom, actually. So master bedrooms are very important as well too, but the bathroom is where you can kind of see all the upgrades, all right? So if you do a complete bathroom renovation, just looks really nice and new, which the decision maker is probably going to be the one that lives in the master suite. So I think this is an important space for you to invest some of your renovation budget. Another thing to consider is curb appeal, all right? A lot of times people, they always think, oh, you know, it's the inside that matters. This is true. I do believe that as well too. But right when you pull up to the property, that's your first impression, right? So if you pull up to the house and it looks not very good from the outside, it kind of like sets the tone already, you know? Like if the outside looks not great and then you open the door and you're like, oh, it's surprisingly good, you know, considering how the outside looked, right? That's not a good feeling to give somebody. You want people to come to pull up and just feel like this whole job has been done for me. Oh, look how nice it is outside. Look how nice it is inside. Everything's done. I don't need to do anything, all right? There's nothing worse than when, say, I'm showing clients a property that's been flipped, right? And all of a sudden we go inside and maybe kitchen looks good, bathroom looks good, and then we go to a secondary bathroom and it's not done, all right? Or we go into one of the secondary bedrooms and the flooring's not done or something. This always gives the impression of, oh, they ran out of money in the budget, but they had to stop right here. There's nothing good about that because potential buyers, they'll see that as they ran out of money and they couldn't finish the job. Where else did they cut corners? If you don't do a complete job, they're gonna assume that you cut corners somewhere. They're gonna be reluctant to give you top dollar for it. So that's my advice for you. I know things can get very costly when you start talking about complete renovation of a whole property, but just keep in mind, just get a lot of quotes, all right? For me, get quotes for how much for me to restain these cabinets versus how much is it to replace them completely. What if I replace this with carpet, or should I just do, you know, wood flooring throughout? Just little things, compare, run the numbers, make the best decisions based on that, okay? The work gets started, you know, of course you have to do progress checks, make sure things are done the right way, make sure your contractors aren't getting in each other's way, and then that the whole job is complete and done and looks nice, all right? Because sometimes you need to coordinate some vendors to start in first, another vendor to come in the middle, and then someone else to finish, all right? So kind of get your timeline and know the order of operations, if you will. The progress checks are very important because you don't want to come inspect the property at the very end and realize something is done wrong, and now you have to rip out a bunch of stuff to redo it and then finish it properly again. So it's important to kind of check things along the way. Number 4, we've gotten to the part where the renovation's done. We're about to put the home on the market. So first thing, determine the price, all right? It's gonna be easy for you to do this because when you started the project, you already had an idea in your head what your after repair value was, right? So you already knew, well, if I buy it this much and I put in this much, I can probably sell it for this much. So you already know that, but it's also good to consider more recent data, right? So I've been checking the comparable sales on this property ever since I closed on it. I'm seeing what's coming on the market, what's going into contract, and what's actually closing. I mean, the good news for me was it's been very active in our market. So homes are coming on the market, they are selling, which is great. However, I've yet to see one as priced as high as mine as far as a price per square footage standpoint, all right? The house that I bought was not a very large house, so I'm really setting a real high on the price per square footage price on this because there are other homes that are bigger that have sold for around the same price, but they're not newly remodeled. So I'm kind of trying to play with that a little bit, just trying to maximize my return without running into appraisal problems. we figured out the price. I decided to list at $450,000. All right, I think that's a good price for a turnkey starter home in Henderson, Nevada. All right, that's the price that I came up with, and then I started my marketing. All right, I got professional photography. I did 3D tour, drone shots, the whole thing. First week on the market, I had a big open house for 2 days on the weekend to show all potential buyers the property, build interest, to invite all the neighbors over to come take a look at it. We want to get them excited, right? I remember I had a neighbor come over and said, hey, you know what? My mom wants to live in the area. I'm going to have her come look at it. Things like that. Everything helps. You want the most traffic as possible, people excited about it, and then if the people that are thinking about making offers on it, they might see other people excited about it, and then it's going to make them want to compete against one another and not lose it to one another. So that's the best way to draw the highest price for your property. Once you have the offers, time to negotiate. All right, of course, cash offers are always preferred just because there's less contingencies such as appraisals and things like that. However, cash might not give you the highest price always. Sometimes you might get a finance offer that actually nets you more money. Or sometimes if they're buying it for themselves to live in, of course, they might just be so much more emotionally invested in this property, all right? They will see it through to the end. I mean, maybe it doesn't appraise, they're willing to come up with the money or whatever. Highest price is not always the best price. I mean, I think you want to find the most committed buyer. That's key for me on selecting offers. While you're in escrow, something I want to point out to you, make sure you're working with contractors that know that once you're in escrow and inspections and appraisals happen, that they're willing to come back and do little repairs and touch-ups and things like that for you too. All right, just a little tip right there, because it's going to happen. You close the deal and it takes us to step 5. All right, step 5 is to calculate your profit. This is where I would review my costs. All right, let's go back. What was the budget I set? Did I stick to that budget? Did I go over the budget? Where did I go over budget? Where did I miscalculate this? All right, where did I spend too much money that I maybe should not have? All right, this is really important because this is kind of an assessment of your investment or your project. And more importantly, it's not about whether you did a good job or not. It's about learning, right? Chances are if you flip one house, you're probably going to want to flip another house. And if you learn from any mistakes or any missteps you had in a flip, and you avoid those the next time, you're only going to be more profitable. So definitely assess and analyze, how you performed on this project. Very important step. And then finally, after that, you got to decide what's next, all right? Because you made some money, you probably have some capital again. Where are you going to invest your money again? Are you going to flip another house? Because if you flip one house and you make a decent profit, it's good for the time being, but you're not going to retire off of it. I mean, you want to just flip it into another one, maybe multiple projects, right? You want your investment journey to keep going. It's not just a one and done. I would continue to do this, learn from it, get better, make more money. That's what it's about. I've been buying and selling homes for a very long time now, all right? I love helping people build their real estate portfolio. And if you're just getting started, please be sure to reach out to the number on the screen. I'd love to connect with you and just kind of see where you are and help you with your journey as well. I have a lot of content on my channel, a lot of educational stuff about real estate investing. Please be sure to click over here to see my whole flip journey on this property that I just flipped. And then be sure to check out over here to see my whole real estate portfolio and how I built that. Thanks for watching.